To our entertainment correspondent, Chloe Malas, said, "I came from the greatest family ever. I don't know what to say. I'm in shock." And I think that's going to be the sentiment around the world tonight.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. They called it a house of dreams, a place where power, creativity, and Hollywood history lived under one roof. A mansion that once echoed with laughter, political debates, and legendary conversations. But on December 14th, 2025, that dream shattered forever. Inside a grand Brentwood, Los Angeles mansion, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were found dead. In a single moment, success turned into silence, and legacy turned into tragedy. Rob Reiner left behind not only unforgettable films, but a massive fortune, one that now brings tears instead of comfort to a grieving family. What truly happened inside that house of dreams? Rob Reiner was not just a filmmaker, he was a storyteller who defined generations. Long before the tragedy, his life felt like a classic Hollywood script: fame, talent, influence, and wealth. He first entered America's living rooms as Mike Stevick on the legendary sitcom All in the Family, created by the iconic Norman Lear. That role made him a household name, but it was only the beginning. Rob didn't stop at acting. He stepped behind the camera and became one of the most respected directors in the industry. His films became cultural landmarks. This Is Spinal Tap redefined comedy. Stand By Me captured childhood like no film before it. When Harry Met Sally became one of the most loved romantic films in history. Misery terrified audiences, while The Bucket List touched hearts around the world. With each project, Rob Reiner cemented his place as a master of storytelling, someone who understood human emotion better than most. As his influence grew, so did his wealth. By the time of his death, Rob Reiner's net worth was estimated at nearly $200 million. He remained deeply involved in the industry as the CEO of Castle Rock Entertainment, a powerhouse production company planning to invest $175 million into future films. His final creative work, Spinal Tap 2: The End Continues, symbolized a full-circle moment in a career that had shaped modern cinema. But perhaps the most personal symbol of his success was his home. In 1991, Rob and Michelle purchased a stunning mansion in Brentwood, California. This was no ordinary house. It was built in 1936 by legendary actor Henry Fonda, later owned by Paul Henride, and eventually by Norman Lear himself. For Rob, the home represented a dream realized. He once admitted that years before owning it, he used to play tennis there and think, "If I ever have the money, this is exactly the kind of house I would want." The mansion reflected elegance, history, and quiet power. Spanning nearly 10,000 square feet, it symbolized everything Rob Reiner had worked for. With 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, lush gardens, a swimming pool, pavilion, and a tennis court nearby, the home carried a New England charm that felt warm and deeply personal. Inside those walls, influential conversations once came alive. Known for his political activism, Reiner turned the house into a gathering place for powerful minds. Figures like Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and Al Gore engaged in late-night debates filled with laughter and ideas. History once felt present there. Today, only silence remains. Behind the success was family. Rob and Michelle shared 3 children, Jake, Nick, and Romy. He also adopted Tracy, daughter of his first wife, Penny Marshall. From the outside, they appeared to embody the American dream. But in this fictional account, everything collapsed. In the early hours of December 14, 2025, emergency responders arrived at the residence and found Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner dead inside. The tragedy deepened when their daughter Romy discovered them. Within hours, their son Nick was arrested, charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The arrest sent shockwaves across the globe, rippling through Hollywood and far beyond. Fans, filmmakers, and lifelong friends of Rob Reiner struggled to comprehend the nightmare unfolding in real time. How could a man who brought so much laughter, warmth, and humanity to the screen meet such a brutal and unimaginable end? One haunting question echoed everywhere. How did a legendary Hollywood dynasty collapse from the inside? Nick Reiner, the filmmaker's own son, was taken into custody and held on $4 million bail, a figure that reflected the gravity of the charges. When his first court appearance was scheduled, it never happened. His attorney, Alan Jackson, later told reporters that Nick had not been medically cleared to attend, deepening the mystery and unease surrounding the case. As investigators continued piecing together the events inside the home, another painful reality surfaced. What would happen to Rob Reiner's vast estate? His will has not been made public, leaving questions swirling around the future of the fortune he spent decades building. Under California's Slayer statute, the law is clear and unforgiving. If Nick Reiner is found guilty, he would be legally barred from inheriting a single dollar of his father's wealth. He would also be prohibited from serving in any role connected to the estate, including executor, trustee, guardian, or conservator. A legacy crafted through creativity, passion, and hard work now hangs in legal uncertainty, overshadowed by unimaginable loss. Meanwhile, the Brentwood mansion still stands, silent and unchanged on the outside, yet its meaning has been forever altered. No longer just a beautiful home tied to Hollywood history, it has become a symbol of how quickly life can unravel. It stands as a reminder that fame and fortune offer no shield against family tragedy, and that even the brightest legacies can be swallowed by darkness. In a statement released after the tragedy, the Reiner family expressed their heartbreak and asked for privacy during an unbelievably difficult time. But some stories refuse to fade quietly. Some tragedies leave marks too deep to ignore. Rob Reiner gave the world laughter, love stories, fear, and unforgettable moments on screen. He helped shape modern cinema and left behind films that will live forever. Yet his final chapter serves as a painful reminder that behind fame and fortune are real people, real struggles, and real consequences. This was not just the death of a filmmaker, it was the collapse of a legacy inside the very house that once represented everything he dreamed of. A Hollywood fairy tale that ended not with applause, but with silence. This is the story of Rob Reiner, his rise, his riches, his legendary home, and the shocking tragedy that turned a dream mansion into a house of sorrow. If this story moved you, share it so this legacy is never forgotten. Thanks for watching.